Located in the Music City, this building has hosted a lot of great music acts since its inception. But this is what she was made for, NFL football, and that's what we have today in Nashville at Nissan Stadium. The whole of downtown Nashville likely still reverberating with the sounds of the Titans taking the field a moment ago. They're ready for football as their Titans are set to match up with the New Orleans Saints. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. Now a play fake, and it's Tannehill. He'll drop this underneath for Jones. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big play that time on the catch and run.
A great job there, and that old cliche, taking what the defense gives you, comes right into play. Nothing too out of the ordinary about the throw. Just a little dump off over the middle. But what is out of the ordinary is what he did with it after the catch. Not only did he grab the ball, but how about the significant yardage he picked up after he pulled it in.
Running on first down is Jones, but he's not going to get much, maybe a couple. And it's second down. This defense for the Saints, they played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Aaron Jones, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Titans take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Rosas good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded right at the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Jameis to throw it. Finding Taysom Hill complete. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Well, speed is definitely a calling card if you play cornerback in this league, and he does a terrific job there of hustling in quickly to make the play.
And that is a situation where in a defender's mind, you just have to pick a point on the football field and think to yourself, I'm going to sprint full out and meet him at that point. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but he had to play diagnosed perfectly there.
First down, Winston. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
Play action now. Winston. Touchdown, New Orleans. Taysom Hill with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Lutz good on the extra point. And that will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. The 6-2 is their record through the first 8 weeks. Now, Charles, what is your assessment for them in the second half of the season?
Well, I think that the road gets a little bit tougher for them. And when I look at their schedule, I see some of these road games, and I know those are going to be difficult. But this is a good team, so I'm going to go with 11-5. That seems about right, and I think that'd be a nice accomplishment, too.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. A give to Jones. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Into the secondary, past the 40. The 30. 10. 5. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. The CD, I mean, there are touchdown runs, and then there are touchdown runs. And that one certainly fell into the latter category. That deserves a couple exclamation points.
I think defensively, when you look at a play like that, that's when everyone looks at their teammates and starts shaking their heads a little bit, because now you're wondering, what are we in for? Worked all week to try and limit the big play ability that he possesses, and he winds up taking one to the house in the very first quarter. That was a tremendous run.
And you'll see there on the next-gen stats, he traveled nearly 80 yards on that run. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And Kamara with a carry there on first down as he works his way forward for a pickup of 4.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
From the 41, Winston. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the gun, Winston. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. Blake Gillikin on to punt here as he'll send this one away. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Off play action, Tannehill. This is Bell on the dump off. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. They'll try and run for it with Bell. And he will have the first down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
The last run got 3, now here's 2nd and 7. Play action, it's Tannehill. He's got the hook up here to Deshaun Jackson. And he will be marked down inside of New Orleans 10. A big play that time for the Titans.
I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run on the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
Now Jones. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Brings up 2nd and goal at the 8-yard line. They'll try again with Jones. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
3rd and goal at the 4-yard line. Jones.
And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
Well, let's see what they do. They're knocking on the door here in the 2nd quarter.
And you know what you look at on your play sheet? Your 2-point conversion plays, because you've drawn up a number of them in today's football. You don't just have 1 or 2 for the game. You have more like 6 or 7. Which one do you like here? Because that's essentially what you're going for right now. That spot of the field, call one of those and go get 6.
So 3 points on the board, as easy a field goal as you're going to get, but I can see you shaking your head.
I love that peripheral vision of yours, partner, because to me, if it's the 4th quarter and you're up 6, I get it. But now, even if you run and don't get in, you're still setting them up to go a long field, 98, 99-yard drive. How do you look at your defense and not give them that opportunity?
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. He gets it complete to Harris. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
They'll go draw here. Winston hands to Kamara.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Got an extra defensive back out there for the Titans now here for 3rd down.
Now Winston. They'll get this out to Kamara. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on third down, and they keep the drive going.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. On 2nd and 11 now. Winston drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Throwing, Winston. And that is incomplete. More problems here on third down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on third down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
That'll go as a 39-yard punt. Give him 9 on the return, and it'll be Titan football. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. They've had a very solid first half, and as we near the end of that first half, they're just looking for a little more on top of their lead right now.
And when you put together a game plan on offense, you put together what you think is going to be the best possible scenario, right? Hey, we're going to score. These are the plays that are going to do it. But you also put together your counters, meaning after they make adjustments to what you're doing, what do we have to go to next?
The adjustment to the adjustment?
Exactly. So I can't wait to see if we come out of the half, how they're going to go about doing things. Do you just keep running what you ran before, or do you go to your counters expecting those adjustments to happen?
Before that, we'll see the end here of this first half. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Out of the gun, Tannehill. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
Andy, you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
A second down throw for Winston. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going.
A first down throw for Winston. That one complete to Hill. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Throwing again on second down. Winston. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll throw again. Winston. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. A 1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. From the red zone now, Winston. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And the Titans are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. So we've reached halftime here in Nashville, the Music City, with the Titans out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The Saints going to go on offense first, and they trail here as we begin quarter number 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
Well, paraphrasing the gold medal hockey winning coach Herb Brooks, I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half, so make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers, a little bit more to the perimeter perhaps, but above all, play your game.
Winston now to throw on first down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
On second down, Kamara. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on 3rd. Working out of the gun, Winston. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Winston to give. It's Kamara. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Second and 8. Here's Winston. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. Hill's hit, and he lost the football. It's picked up by the Titans. And they will finally stop him as he's down to the 40-yard line. So the turnover forced, and a wonderful job on a big return.
And how about the convoy that got created to help him get all the way back upfield? I mean, that's the part that people miss on. That's practice. That's worked on. It doesn't just happen in a game and everyone rallies. They discuss it prior to, and everyone knows their role when they create a turnover like that.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 75 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Now Jones. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. The give is to Jones. And good running, going to get this down close to a first at the Saints' 15-yard line. Tannehill going to throw on 3rd and 1. He'll check it down to Bell. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a first down.
Back to you. I'm going back to you. Kill. Right.
Now a first down throw, Tannehill. And it's a Titans touchdown. Austin Hooper, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Titans are going to add on to their lead. PAT up and good by Rosas. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Here comes Deontay Harris from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete, and he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Play fake. Winston. And going deep for Hill. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Amani Hooker. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football, we're not seeing it right now.
They'll run on first down. Jones. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
From the 39, Tannehill. He's going deep for Brown. That'll be caught by Brown. Touchdown, Tennessee. A.J. Brown, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the interception. interception by the Titans D leads to a touchdown. Rosas good with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Here comes Harris out of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Thomas has got it, complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
To the air again with Winston. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. First down, Winston. We'll get this one underneath to Kamara. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Here's Winston. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Jameis to throw it. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Oh, now it's free. Hill fumbled it. It's picked up by the Titans. And he'll get this back across the midfield, striping down to the 47-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. On 1st down, it's Jones. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
104 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
on a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. 4th down now after a loss of 2. Rosas' kick is good. And that'll push the lead from 24 up to 27. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this... The ball comes out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. Well, obviously you never want to fumble, but if you do, good to be towards the sideline. It saves them the possession.
Saves the embarrassment, saves it going down on the play sheet as a turnover. But I still think it should go to the defense, even if they don't recover it. If you give up the football, you gave up the football.
Agreed to this. Hill diving, and he's got it full extension. What a catch. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, Winston. Dancing to his left. Finding, and Winston lost the football. It's picked up by the Titans. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. So this one, a Tennessee Titan victory. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the 1st quarter, but 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you can win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you said baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time, and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that, and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the 1st quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for Tennessee, they pick up win number 7 on the year. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Houston Texans next week. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles.